Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. My name is SkyLaaa, and today I will be using a full team of Pokemon based on characters from Dragon Ball Z. Special thanks to Pinky Winky for the team idea. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into the battles. So I'm using a Dragon Ball Z team in honor of the creator and the legend, Akira Toriyama. May he rest in peace. Now, in terms of my history with Dragon Ball Z, I used to watch it a lot with my brothers when I was younger. I remember watching GT on Nicktoons, and I remember watching the Raditz arc all the way up to like the Frieza arc. I don't remember much of like anything after that, like with the Cell arc. Like I only remember bits and pieces, and I kind of dropped off watching like Super, but I still really enjoy Dragon Ball Z. And like I remember playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3 as well with my brother on the Wii, which was a really good game and has really good music, which is also the music that I'm using in this video. Now, with this team, I had legendary Pokemon on it, so I opted to find battles where the opponent was also using legendary Pokemon, and I had some really good games. So hopefully you enjoy these battles. Now, I'll talk about that Rayquaza in a little bit, which took down the Solgaleo. It was actually a really crazy set. I had this Focus Sash Monferno for Gohan, and I had a Mach Punch, Fire Punch, and Counter. This was a counter Focus Sash set, but I really couldn't get off the counter versus much of anything on this team, so I opted to stall out the rain with it and get a little chip with the Mach Punch versus the Kyogre. Now into Frieza. Now this Mewtwo was physical Mewtwo. So I'm running a substitute bulk up Zen Headbutt and Drain Punch. This Pokemon was actually like the best Pokemon on my team. Like there was games where I just won off of this Pokemon like on lead matchup. It's crazy. A lot of people don't expect like the substitute setup variants of these Pokemon. So I'm gonna take out the Kyogre with the Zen Headbutt. I took a lot of damage from that Origin Pulse, but luckily I managed to stall out the rain, which is good. So I had max attack and max speed on this, and I had Terra Water, so I could, you know, get more of a better setup. Now, Lunala is gonna come in. I opted to just stay in and go for the Zen Headbutt versus it, just to break its Shadow Shield, which is gonna be helpful for one of my Pokemon later on. So I'm gonna get absolutely Moongeist beamed into oblivion, and there goes my Mewtwo. But that was fine. I had a really good answer for this Pokemon in my Majin Buu, aka my Snorlax. Now, I will say Licky Licky is definitely a better choice, but Licky Licky's not in this game. And I think that Snorlax is still a good choice regardless, just because it has like the same base, I guess, and it has that absolute unit size to it, right? So this is a fully specially defensive Snorlax. It is such a bulky Pokemon. I had the traditional, the classic Curse, Crunch, Body Slam, Rest with the Chesto Berry set on this. Now my opponent is going to Terrasilize their Eternatus, so I was like, I wonder what this is going to do to me. It's going to be Terra Flying. So I anticipate that they anticipated an Earthquake coming from my Snorlax, which is fair. It's a move that this Puma runs, and they're going to go for the Dynamax Cannon, and that is absolutely going to bounce off of me. Now, I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna sleep this off. It clearly can't do much to me, but at the same time, there was a Pokemon they had in the back that I was definitely very scared of, and I needed as much health as possible on this Snorlax for me to take it on. And I didn't really want to get continuously chipped because I didn't want to be a sleeping duck, I guess. So into Vegeta, my Lucario. Now this is a Choice Specs Lucario. I'm gonna swap into the Dynamax Cannon, and I was wondering if this Pokemon had Flamethrower, but it ended up going for Dynamax Cannon again. So I was like, okay, maybe it doesn't have it. I don't know what other moves the Pokemon has. So the Dynamax Cannon is looking to be a 3-hit KO, and I'm gonna go for the Final Flash Cannon, and it's gonna do well under half. So I was like, okay, I got my chip off. Maybe I could, you know, swap in another Pokemon. But Vegeta, I don't know, he ate like a centipede or something, and he lives on 1, and I actually get a max roll on the Flash Cannon, taking out the Eternatus. Holy smokes, I didn't expect to live that at all. Good job, Vegeta. Now on this, I had Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Vacuum Wave, and Dragon Pulse. So Kyurem White's gonna come in. This Pokemon was a huge threat to my team. It's gonna go, oh my gosh, Fusion Flare is so overkill on 1 health. It's gonna take out my Vegeta. But I did have some answers for this. So into Goku here, next time. I have a fully special set on this as well with Focus Blast. So I'm gonna hit it with like, I guess a Spirit Bomb. Oh, it just missed the KO. And oh my gosh, Earth Power is absolutely gonna send me packing. Oh geez, it's looking bad right now. All I have left is my Rayquaza, which I had earlier, and my Snorlax. So this is a blunder policy Rayquaza. This is a crazy set. Now, Rayquaza actually has the exact same speed as Kyurem White, so I opted to Terra Steel on this turn just in case they outsped me and went for like an Ice move or a Dragon move, but I ended up outspeeding, so I guess I won that speed tie. And I have Hurricane. I have some crazy moves on this. I have Hurricane, Thunder, Blizzard, and Fire Blast with Terra Steel. It was just a full-on like risky Rayquaza set. I didn't want to, with my legendaries on this team, I really didn't want to run any like super broken sets, right? I like to use like really fun sets. So I had like the substitute bulk up Mewtwo and this this special Rayquaza with very low accuracy moves. Now this was a Pokemon that I was very scared of with my Snorlax, but luckily I had it on full health, and even with the +1 special attack, I'm just going to absolutely eat this energy ball. And the crunch isn't going to be enough to take it out, but I knew that even with a critical hit, they weren't really going to take me out. So that's going to be the end of this first game. Now, I will say, I also played this game. It's for the Xbox. It's for other consoles. It was called Dragon Ball Z Sagas. If anyone's ever played it, that game is actually so bad. I remember there was this mission where you had to like protect Dende. And you had to like guide him through a level, but his AI was so bad that he ended up walking into danger and he would always get himself killed. Oh my gosh, it was such a frustrating game. Oh my gosh, speaking of annoying, here's this Cerulege which completely countered my Monferno lead. Oh no. So I swapped into my Snorlax. I wasn't really sure what this thing was going to do. I do have Thick Fat on this set, so I can easily eat up those Bitter Blades from this Cerulege. Oh, but it flinched me. I was like, what? This is a King's Rock Cerulege. What the hell is this? This was a crazy battle, by the way. I really enjoyed this one. So I'm just gonna set up my curses. I was thinking, okay, well, I'm probably gonna rest off the damage because this Pokemon was actually kind of good into me. Like, if it had a Ghost move, it would have a good matchup versus my Mewtwo, right? So I'm gonna opt to rest this turn. Now, in this game, there was another like. The last game had the Calyrex Shadow, right, as a really strong special attacker into me. And in this game, there was another really strong special attacker that I had to deal with. So once again, this is another game where Snorlax is going to have to prove its worth. So Bitter Blade is going to do next to nothing to me after I set up that curse. And Crunch is going to absolutely destroy this. So I was like, yes, I got through the Cerulege. That's great. I wonder what's going to come out next. It's going to be Hydrapple. I was like, okay, that's cool. It ends up having the super sweet syrup, which is going to drop my evasion. Now, it's going to have a Quick Claw. I was like, oh my gosh, Quick Claw Hydrapple. That's actually like pretty smart because Hydrapple is a very slow Pokemon. It's going to Fickle Beam me. It doesn't get the all-out attack, which is good. I'm going to Body Slam, and yeah, that does under half. Now, like I said, I really didn't want my Snorlax to be super chipped super much. Oh my gosh, what a flubbing narration. I didn't want my Snorlax to be chipped because of that really strong special attacker in the back. So I'm gonna swap it into my Lucario just to eat any like grass or dragon moves, and I'm gonna go for the dragon move of my own, being Dragon Pulse. So that's gonna take out the Hydrapple. You know, Dragon Pulse kind of looks like a Dragon Ball Z, you know, move, so I opted to go for it on this set. Now in comes Kyogre. Oh my gosh, another Kyogre. So I'm just gonna stay in and go for the Dragon Pulse chip versus it. It does a good amount of damage, and it's, oh my gosh, Water Spout is going to absolutely drench me. So there goes my Vegeta, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna send in, oh my gosh, I just realized this is the second battle where I had to send in Mewtwo versus a Kyogre. It's like, this thing is like, I don't know, like an exterminator for Orca Whales. So the Kyogre is going to continuously go for the Water Spout. It doesn't do so much damage thanks to me lowering its health. So that's good. I'm able to take it out next turn with the Zen Headbutt. I was wondering if this Pokemon was like choiced in any way or if it was like Damp Rock, considering the other Pokemon that they had on their team. So I'm going to take it out with the Drain Punch. Like I said, this was like the best Pokemon on my team. Frieza was absolutely going crazy in a lot of the games, but in this game he wasn't really looking super overpowered. That's just the nature of the games that I use sometimes. I don't ever want to upload like one-sided games where I lose tremendously or I win tremendously, because believe it or not, I actually lose a lot when I do these teams. So in comes the Quick Claw. This is another Quick Claw Pokemon. Oh my gosh. This is the Pokemon that I also thought that maybe Kyogre was damp wrong because they have an Archaludon in Rain. And that Electro Shot is going to be fully powered up. And oh my gosh, look at this damage. It does so much to my Mewtwo. Now, I was like, okay, I can still be able to get a +1 Drain Punch off versus this Pokemon, assuming it doesn't get the Quick Claw activation. Maybe I could have enough to like live the next turn, but considering that Electro Shot did a lot of damage, I assume not. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for my Drain Punch chip. I didn't want to go for 2 Drain Punches. I didn't want to have this Pokemon getting too many stamina boosts. But it doesn't have stamina, so I was like, okay, that's interesting. But it's gonna go for another Electro Shot versus me, and with +2 special attack, that's gonna be easily enough to take out my Mewtwo, unfortunately. So I was like, well, I do have another Pokemon that I could potentially deal with this with in my special Infernape. Now, if I haven't gotten over this set, this is a Focus Blast, Scorching Sands, Fire Blast, and Solar Beam set with the Power Herb. Now, Solar Beam actually looks like a Kamehameha attack, which I thought was really fitting for this set. So I'm going to take out the Archaludon with the Focus Blast. Now here, I was like, okay, I can go for the Scorching Sands versus the Raging Bolt. I was wondering if this had Thunder in the Rain. Oh my gosh, yeah, Supercell Slam. These is physical, but it then ends up going for the Thunderclap. And oh my gosh, I just get my booty clapped by that Thunderclap. Oh my gosh, there goes Goku to the Raging Bolt. I guess he loses that matchup. Now the rain stopped. Now I learned that turn that, you know, the Kyogre was going that had the Damp Rock as the item just because it lasted so long. So I land the Blizzard versus the Raging Bolt, and I'm going to be able to take it out, thankfully. Now, that wasn't the scariest Electric Dragon that they had, of course, because it comes Miraidon, and this is the Pokemon that I had to save my Snorlax for. Now, I had Terra Steel on this, and I had another Pokemon that I was thinking, okay, well, it's a good thing that I have this in the back, because I really need to stall out the Electric Terrain turns, especially since this Pokemon is going to be Terra Electric with the Electric Terrain up. It's going to do so much damage, especially with the Hadron Engine ability. I don't know why I pronounce words weird like that sometimes. I have very spicy narration, if you couldn't tell. So they're going to go for the Dragon Pulse as I Terra Steel, which is good. I'm able to get off a Blizzard. Just kidding, I missed. But, you know, this is still a good thing because I do have my Blunder Policy that I can activate and outspeed. Now, I was thinking... first of all, I say I was thinking a lot in these narrations. I'm sorry about that in advance. But second of all, I opted to go for the Fire Blast just to chip it. It was my most accurate move as well to hit this, and I didn't want to miss another Blizzard because then I would be in a very bad position versus this Pokemon. So they're gonna take me out easily in the Electric Terrain with the Terra Electric Electro Drift. So now goes my Rayquaza, but I had Gohan here, so to help me potentially stop the Electric Terrain. Now I had Protect on this in case of like Fake Out because I had Focus Sash and Counter on this Pokemon. Oh, if I didn't say it earlier, my Goku had Stellar Terra, which is really bad. Don't ever use Stellar Terra. I never really used it at all. So I made a misplay here in going for Mach Punch instead of going for Fire Punch. I guess in my mindset, I was like, you know, I'm just going to chip it for however much I can. So I should have went for the Fire Punch that turn. It was definitely a better play instead of going for the weaker Mach Punch. But I'm able to stall out the Electric Terrain turns at the very least. This Miraidon has a Quick Claw too. What is this? So they have like a Quick Claw Hydrapple, a Quick Claw Archaludon, and a Quick Claw Miraidon, which is crazy because, you know, Miraidon isn't fast or anything. You know what? I bet they had Quick Claw on their Raging Bolt too. I am willing to get that. So the Electric Terrain is going to disappear, thankfully. Now, I don't have any attack EV, so I was wondering, am I even going to take this out with the Body Slam? I have to go for Body Slam pretty much because I used up my Chesto Berry and I can't really rest. So the Electric Drift does a lot of damage to me, and the Snorlax is going to go for the Body Slam on the Miraidon, but it just misses me KO. No. So, it was, okay, do I live? Do I live this Electric Drift? I have to live, otherwise I lose. And I barely live on 17 health, and my Snorlax is going to be able to get that Body Slam KO, and that's going to be end of both games. So the Death Snorlax is absolutely crazy. Oh yeah, it's Terra Fairy, by the way, I should say. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy Pokemon Theme Teams, feel free to subscribe and check out my Theme Team playlist. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.